Say it ain't so. Ho, ho, ho. No, it's not Christmas. This is not Santa Claus coming. It's not. Oh, this is Doomsday Friday, I'm going to call it. Are we out? You're out. Okay. I don't know. You guys get your butts up in here. Let's talk about this Dallas Cowboys football game. What went right, what went wrong. Some Monday morning quarterbacking is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about this thing. Tough, tough, tough. Hopes are possibly still alive. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Good morning, or is it? That depends on how much you cared about that victory last night. I cared quite immensely. Therefore, I am pretty pissed. Okay. And we'll just put it at that. Pretty pissed. Thank you if you're on TikTok joining. Thank you if you're on YouTube joining. I appreciate you hanging with Jimmy this morning as we sulk in our misery, in our pain, in our sorrows. But light at the end of the tunnel, it's there, but it's very, very dim. It's got to be the dimmest light. And it's going away fast. Obviously, the only thing you can do now is get to 10 wins. You have to cross fingers, hope, pray. Whatever your thing is, you have to do. Whatever your omen is, you have to do it. Because you're really, really asking for a lot of other teams to fail for you. You're asking a lot of other teams to bite the dust and fail almost like you did to teams that they should probably it's so funny. I really can't stand it, but y'all tell me if you think it's true. Why is it? Tell me why this is. Why is it that every time we're not expected to do anything, right? Like Oakland or Las Vegas was Las Vegas. It was the Raiders. We come off the trade. We made a good trade. We got Demo back, yada, yada. We got kind of healthy. We beat the Raiders. Whoop-de-doo. They're the Raiders. Everybody's going to beat the Raiders, usually, mostly, right? Especially right now this season. But then when our backs are against the wall, nobody expects us to beat the Eagles. Nobody expects us to beat the Chiefs. We go down 21 points to the Eagles and somehow win that game. Nobody expects us to beat the Super Bowl representing Chiefs with their backs against the wall. They have to get a W to go to the playoffs. Nobody's expecting that one. And we win. Like, we play our best football. Then all of a sudden, Dallas put together two good games, and Detroit struggling, that all of a sudden what? We were expected to do something, weren't we? Hold on, wait. Did we have expectations for Dallas? Don't do that. And I even told somebody on the show last night, this year's going to be different. This is going to be the time to where you have a gut feeling saying, you know what, I think my team is real. Even when when there's nothing to lose, we're not just going to win a game when there's nothing to lose. There's everything to lose in this game. You lose your playoffs hopes this game. We'll show up. And we beat ourselves again. Early mistakes, early turnovers. Jake Ferguson fighting for too many yards. Loses the ball where we're supposed to punt it and put them deep. Instead, they get a 40-yard field. Easy money. You can't just give them the ball in scoring range. We beat ourselves in the first half, and we did it in pure Dallas Cowboys fashion to the point that, like I said, I actually, my team after the last two wins got me up thinking, okay, Detroit better be ready. That's all I can say, right? Detroit better be ready. Give me just a second, guy. All right, there we go. Because my team just come off two games. They got a whole week break. They won 2 games in 4 days that I didn't expect them to win. They got a whole week break. I'm thinking this is it. Detroit better be ready. We are the scariest team. Even if you watch the 3 and 4 letter networks, you heard them say it. Scariest team in the NFL right now is the Dallas Cowboys. Except we showed up and looked scared. We looked scared to hold on to the ball. We looked scared to protect our quarterback. We looked scared to get to their quarterback. I understand Jadeveon Clowney was out. But we also have to realize Terrion Arnold's out. They had three of their best corners for Detroit on the field yesterday were 5'9", 5'9" 170 pounds, 180 pounds. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens should have been having their way with them. It kind of did a little. CeeDee was, right? Losing CeeDee, obviously. I'm not going to understate that. I will not take away how important the fact that the dude had 6 for 121 before he goes out of the game. I'm not going to discredit what CeeDee was doing. I was yelling at the whole time. I was like, CeeDee Lamb is the key to burning this team down. I'm screaming at Lamb through the TV. We're talking about it. I'm like, CeeDee Lamb is the key to whoop this team. Go back and look at his last two games versus Detroit. It's like 17 catches for 300 something yards and 3 touchdowns. The last 2 times CeeDee has played Detroit. They were out Terrion Arnold, their number 1 corner. Right? And so CeeDee Lamb, if you just watch the early of the game, he was on pace to have a huge one. Obviously, that was big. Let's see in the chat. GG's though, Dak, my favorite quarterback. Yeah, listen, Dak's been playing good football. He didn't play bad football yesterday. The protection wasn't as good, right? One of the things that I really liked that we had been doing early on in the season was really stretching the pocket and moving the pocket really deep for Dak. It seemed like we were more traditional 3 to 5 step right under center drop back, a little less of the play action and the rollouts and some of the spreading around. And I think maybe Shoddy got in his own head and say, okay, hey, we've been doing this for 2 or 3 weeks now. It's been working. Maybe they're going to game plan against it. And he kind of played his own little 3D chess against himself too much. Sometimes coaches can do that. They can say, okay, this has worked for me 2 weeks. That team's going to take it away from me. What can I try to do different? When really maybe you shouldn't have done anything different, right? That can happen. That can definitely be a case. Cowboys will never go to the Super Bowl, Amanda says. Well, wow. Okay. We gotta love the haters in the chat. I appreciate your comments, Amanda. We're probably not going to the Super Bowl this year. You are correct in the fact that we lost last night. Yes. Our team is young. We do have some promising players and a good future ahead of us. If Jerry, makes the right moves with these picks that we have still, and just like he did with Quinnen, then we're on our way somewhere. Where this is going to be a very, if you just imagine this football team that you've seen over the past 4 weeks, even with the Detroit game, we still put up 30 some of the points. Like the Detroit game wasn't a disaster. Like I said early on, I believe we beat ourselves. Turnovers and penalties in the first half, it should have been more like a 3-point ball game at best, if not tied going into halftime. It really should have. And then the early mistake coming out of the first half with the interception, right off of George's hands, kind of another unfortunate thing. Dak hit his receiver in the chest, ball gets intercepted. You can't yell at Dak on that one, but it was an interception. Goes on his record, right? It's like hanging out with the wrong friends. No, but so it's since 1997, dude. When are the Cowboys going to win it? I know what year it was, Amanda, when the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. You don't have to remind me the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. I know you young people find Detroit line all over the planet. You'll find Dallas Cowboys in downtown Tokyo, downtown. Yeah, see, facts. We're some facts now. What's up, Boog? I appreciate you being in here. We was ready. Dak is an overrated quarterback. He doesn't know how to get rid of the football. Man, you know what? In previous years, Matt Hatter, I might have agreed with you that Dak would pat the ball and hold on to it. He would choke the ball. I would even say he's choking on it. He's holding it. He swallows the ball. He keeps it. Not to, bad puns or anything, but he would just hold on to it. You're right. This year he hasn't really though. He's been letting it go. Aiden Hutchinson and the Detroit defensive line did play a good game. Right. I'm not going to discredit what they did on defense. And I can't take away how huge the loss of CeeDee Lamb was to us. So I can't act like that was just things that didn't happen. But I still, with those two things happen, think the catalyst in this football game that led to our loss was penalties and turnovers. Our defense and special teams didn't create a turnover this game, and we gave up 2. Right? And we lost the penalty battle. Again, I said the same thing in Denver. I said, this is a Denver's team that's going to play you. You have to be mistake and free. You have to play, disciplined football. And you have to take your opportunities when they're there. We didn't. Twice in the Denver game, we had a 3rd and 1. or third and goal from the one. I apologize. Third and goal from the one. Twice against Denver, two penalties, third and 6, third and 16. Right, a holding and a false start, I believe, that put us back. Those are supposed to be walking touchdowns. Those are how you lose football games. Yesterday, the early mistakes, right? The big play. All throughout the game. It wasn't even just early. The penalties were all throughout the game. Look at the big play when Dak goes to CD or Dak goes to George deep late in the game, and the flag. Right, we see the flag and we're like, "Yep, he's holding Georgia. That's a touchdown." But then we go back to the line of scrimmage and Jake Ferguson is hitting somebody in the face mask with his hands. So those penalties negate each other. We go right back to the same, repeat the play, replay the down. Horrible, 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 horrible. I appreciate you guys in there. I think the Cowboys will somehow make the playoffs still. We need Diggs back. I don't know. Listen, if Diggs is going to be 85% of his self and give a damn, then yeah, we need Trevon Diggs back. If he's not going to be at least 85% of himself health-wise, and he's going to be kind of walking around the huddle instead of in the mix of it and getting hype with his boys pregame and stuff like that, then maybe I don't want those vibes. But I'm hoping for, the first thing I said, how does a close 4-point game turn into a 2-touchdown loss? No doubt it can slip away from you. That's a good point. And listen, without the mistakes and penalties and stuff like that, we're probably the ones 3 or 4 points in the lead at some point in the game, but we never could get the lead in this football game due to ourselves. Not the fact that Detroit was like look at Detroit just shutting this Cowboys offense down. No, it was look at this Cowboys offense just blasting themselves in the foot over and over. That's what it felt like, and that's what it looked like to me. Let me slide this over so I see these coming. Still need that white helmet though. I hear you, Okie. I hear you. Deron Bland did bad. Deron Bland did not play a good game. When we did the third down, we got them in third down to try to get the ball back, right? 7-point game. I know they end up going and score again. And this is kind of, it was a great question, Daniel Acosta. I appreciate it. We had just got the ball back, or we were just trying to get the ball back. We had just scored the 3. They're on 3rd and 8, and Deron Bland gets absolutely roasted. And so, he didn't have a great game. He missed some tackles. He made one good play. He made one really good downhill play. Deron Bland did that I can just remember off top. I haven't went and watched any film yet. I haven't watched any 22, any highlights, anything like that. If he made one really good downhill play, right, where he attacks Jamar Gibbs and makes a tackle for loss and gets up and points at him and he's talking mess, blah, 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 blah. And on that same drive, 2 of the next 3 plays, Jamar Gibbs absolutely runs right by and dusts Deron Bland. They're like he picked on him. Like he said, oh, you want to lie? It's funny, it's cute, and then come right at him. Why did we have Marquise Bell on J-Mo? That's a good question. That's a very good question. At one point, we had Reddy Stewart lined up in man on Amon-Ra St. Brown in the slot. Get Reddy Stewart off of Amon-Ra St. Brown, please. And I'm with you, Ghost. Get Marquise Bell off of Jameson Williams. I'm sorry, Jameson Winston. Jameson Williams. That's a good question. I didn't. Some of the matchups were weird. This defense has kind of been doing this thing the last couple of weeks, but I have to 100% agree with that. When I saw Marquise Bell lined up on J-Mo that play, and when I saw, Reddy Stewart trying to chase him on Ross St. Brown across a crossing route across the middle of the field, you're losing your mind as a fan because those things aren't going to work. Those are the kind of things where you go, hold on, I don't even have to be an NFL coach to know that shouldn't be a thing. So I'm with you on that one, Ghost. Not even close to a Super Bowl. Probably not yet. No. And listen, nobody really expected JR. Why because you're blasting over here talking about not even close to a Super Bowl. Now listen, if we don't make the mistakes and we beat that Detroit team and we're looking like we can possibly run the table, you might be saying, oh, they might actually have a shot if they stay hot to go to the Super Bowl. But just because of Detroit lost, now it's not even close to a Super Bowl. Well, one game can't swing a team that bad. You can't be like this, like everybody was saying over the last few weeks, one of the scariest teams in the league. You don't want to play them until they lose against a team like Detroit, whose backs against the wall, fighting for their lives. And we're on the road playing against that team, and we lose it. And so, now they're not even close to being a contender. That's hard to do that, right? What I will say is, imagine this team since the trade deadline, the team that showed up to Las Vegas and then beat the Eagles and Chiefs at home, because that team has only existed for those 3 games. Now let that team reside on the field for all 17 games, right? Put Quinnen Williams, Demo, Savone Revel, all those guys that got healthy plus the trade. Put those players on the team week 1. You think we actually lose to the Giants? I mean, do you think or do you think we actually let the Giants score 40? Do you think we lose to the Bears? Do you think we lose to the Panthers? So the team that's been on the field since the trade deadline is an 11-win team. There's just no way around that. The team that we have right now was very close. If you beat the Detroit Lions, you have a chance to go be an 11-win team. So the team that we have on the field right now is still possibly a 10-win team. It's just unfortunate in the NFC. There might be 3 11-win wildcard teams. Can we talk about it, y'all? 3 11-win wildcard teams. Shut up, Jimmy. I know. I know. I don't like it either. But that's the fact of the matter. You've got the North and the West going crazy. The Niners, the Rams, the Bears, the Packers, now the Lions. If you beat the Lions, they stay at 7 wins. You've probably excluded them from the pack, right? Now that they're at 8 wins, they could get to 11. And because some of those teams play each other, they could all end up at 11. It's so stupid. And while the Ravens are over there scraping by with 6 or 7 wins, winning their division in the AFC, you got teams in the NFC winning 10, 11 games, looking like they might get outed with a playoff chance because, hey, I appreciate the heart, Cole, because just how, everybody's winning. Everybody in the NFC is winning. It's very strong. The AFC used to be the stronger conference. It is not this year. Excuse me. Coffee going through me. Excuse me. Detroit was a doozy. Had the Cowboys losing. Had me wanting to hit the snoozing button on the. I'm just being stupid. Go Pack, go. Get up out of here, Sean. Ain't no Go Pack, go around here. Hey, I appreciate you guys being. Hey, don't retract the message. You leave that comment right there. You leave that comment right here. And also, what you need to leave right here is just a quick thumbs up. If you're with your man Jimmy this morning, tap the screen on either device, whether you're watching on TikTok, whether you're watching on YouTube. Hop on over to the other one if you're watching on one. Dak is 1-4-1 versus Packers. At least you're all pride. Sean, that's cute. That's cute. That's cute. It is all pride. I am proud to be a Cowboys fan. I'm proud that Dak Prescott is my quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. Yeah, people can say he's the reason. I'll argue with you about it. We can talk about it. But I wanted to jump in here this morning. It is a I'm taking a lazy Friday. It is unfortunate Friday, defeat Friday, playoffs over Friday. Can 10 do it? 10's not going to do it, right? Cowboys just eye candy. They're not that good. Well, you can call it eye candy, bro. But listen, this is what I'm not going to do. What I'm not going to do this morning, while I'm sitting here clowning on my own team for being undisciplined and beating themselves yesterday and not playing a good game and the defense not playing as good as they had and Eberflus having bad matchups on the field, offensive line not putting up the performance they had been against what I think was better defensive lines in the Eagles and the Chiefs. While I'm going to sit here and bash my team, what I'm not going to let y'all do in the chat is say they're all eye candy. They're just fake. They're not that good of a team. I'm sorry. You be down 21 points to the defending Super Bowl champions and win that game. Put up 24 unanswered. Give the Eagles a goose egg for 3.5 quarters and win that game with a walk-off field goal. You play a Patrick Mahomes team whose back's against the wall, where Patty Mahomes is doing absolute Patty Mahomes things, 400-plus yards, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, making big third-down plays, multiple fourth-down conversions. We beat those 2 teams, but we're just eye candy. We're not that good. That's what I'm not going to let you do this morning. This was not going to happen. We are pretty good. Since the Quentin Williams trade, since Savone Revel added to the DB room, and DeMarvion Overshown healthy, Malik Hooker back there back at safety, Cooper Beebe back fully healthy in the center of the line between those two Tylers, we are a pretty good football team. So I'm not going to let you get up in here and do that this morning. My Giants stink and had y'all beat, but y'all got to do that. Listen, your Giants do stink, and they put up 40 points against our defense in week 2. That is not our defense today. I have to apologize. Do we have to play the Giants? No, we already played the Giants twice, right? No. Do we have to play? No. Don't tell me we got to play them again. Never did all that and spank the Cowgirls. Okay. We do finish with the Giants, and you want to bet on it. Hold on. Who said that? You bring your butt back in. What do you want to bet on it? Jimmy will take you up on that. What would you? Well, let's place a little friendly wager, and it'll go to a fan. That's what we do around here. So it'll go to a fan. Somebody will win something or something cool. But hit me up if you actually want to bet on that. Hit me up in the DMs, and we will actually work on that. Bears took it to the Cowboys. They did. The Bears absolutely took it to the Cowboys. Y'all are out. Stop dreaming. Not dreaming. Just saying that 10 wins is possible. Is it gonna do it? Nah, probably not. It's mathematically possible, but I'm gonna tell you right now, you needed 11, and because we have the draw, because we have the tie, you know what I mean. That's puts us a half a game ahead of other people who have the same amount of wins as us. So, huh? Oh boy, just got hit with a flag. You can't talk about. That guy said, "You let's bet it," and so I said, "Yeah, I'll bet you they do win." And you can't. You can't even say that apparently on live. So we gotta watch out. I don't bet that. No bet. That's off. What is that? No. So listen, Javante Williams couldn't get anything going. That's what if Detroit did anything really, really good yesterday, like really good, it would stop our run. We didn't between Malik Davis and Javante Williams, and I actually thought Javante Williams, because of how worried Detroit might be, to get just beat up in the pass all day in the passing game. I really thought Javante would have one of the better games of the season. Probably a good 100 yards on the ground. They did really good against the run. I really thought Cooper Beebe and the two Tylers were going to win a lot of those battles and open it up for us. It didn't happen like that. It is what it is. It's called fanning responsibly. It is. But you know what? It's also called player playing responsibly, coaching responsibly. Matt Eberflus can't be having Reddy Stewart lined up on Amon-Ra St. Brown in the slot and Marquise Bell on Jamison Williams in key points in the game. Playing responsibly, you can't be Jake Ferguson and slapping people in the face mask because you're mad at him because you're having some hard battle on the offensive line while George Pickens is getting flagged trying to catch a touchdown, and you negate that flag because you want to punch somebody in the face mask because you're mad. Jake Ferguson. That was a handsy battle. You can go back and watch the replay. Jake Ferguson's having it with that guy. He made a couple good catches on him. They're jarring at each other all night, and Jake Ferguson just gets a little handsy and tries to get him in the face and be a little aggressive. Ref saw it, flag. It took away a big play from us. So if I'm going to fan responsibly out here, I'm a damn sure need my coaches and players to coach and play responsibly and discipline. If I'm going to do my part, just saying. All right, let's see if we could get this back going. Give me one sec, guys. Let's see. Yeah, that's crazy. He wasn't even seriously going to bet with the guy. I mean, if he hits me up in the DMs and wants to put a little small, like friendly wager, we can. That was so. They were like, don't say that. Well, here's what I don't bet. I don't bet the Cowboys are making the playoffs because it was going to take all 11 wins. I believe there's going to be 3 11-win wildcard teams in the NFC. And watch, there's going to be like 2 8-win wild card teams in the AFC. It's going to be I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I think I don't know. That's no good. Oh, well, that's fun. Till December 8th, huh? TikTok has suspended me until December 8th for telling that guy I bet the Cowboys do beat the Giants. We didn't even actually make a bet. TikTok is so crazy. Thank you, YouTube, for not doing that, understanding that people are allowed to just talk. And thank you guys for hanging out with Jimmy this morning. I just had to come on for a quick 20, 30 minutes, get it off the chest. I know I'm looking a little rough. It's a crazy Friday. I got to get my day going. I couldn't even do anything this morning. I was so distraught. I got up pretty early, did a couple of my chores, my daily duties, and was like, let me get in here on YouTube and talk with the folks about what a disaster that was. Not a disaster as in we played just a disastrous football game, but when you really look at it, man, and you go back if you go back and you watch that football game in totality, you're gonna find moments where you're like, oh, why did we do that? We could be. It was a winnable game. It was a winnable game. Is my biggest point. That's what hurts the most. It wasn't, because it's not like Detroit's defense just looked so astounding that it was like, man, Dallas offense can't move the ball and just they're the way better team and they just whooped us today. No, 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 no. We had all kinds of opportunities. We made big plays. We had an injury. CD goes down. I mean, it was a winnable game with a series of unfortunate events and some self-inflicted. A lot. I would say most of the wounds were self-inflicted, and there was enough of them. We kind of dug a hole so deep that we just weren't going to climb out of that one. It felt like that against Philly, right? We dug a 21-point hole that we weren't going to climb out of. This I understand. This hole wasn't even that big. It wasn't 21 points. It was only 11. But it was just something looked off. We didn't look settled. Maybe it's the fact it was a road game. Those last two were at home. This one was on the road. The Detroit Lions were kind of at home in the same situation we were in against Philly and Kansas City. And Detroit just kind of did to us what we did to those two teams. They were in the end the more resilient team. They in the end were the team that made the plays when they needed it, and were the team in the end that didn't make the mistakes when they had success. We made mistakes on plays where we had success, and we made bigger mistakes on plays where we didn't. Right, so it's like a double negative, and so that's the difference. They did to us what we did the last 2 weeks to two other good football teams, in the Eagles and the Chiefs. And so I don't hate it. I hate it because I do believe had we beat them, we were going to run the table. I still think we can run the table. The Chargers are, I believe, are the last competitive game we'll have. The Commanders might give us fits in one of those two, or in the last game we see them, they might give us a little bit of fits. But I don't I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the Chargers are the last challenge we have on the schedule, and I think we'll win that. That's at home, right? Three of these last four, I believe, are at home, and the one on the road should be an easy win. That's, I believe, against the Vikings, who are struggling right now. So it's not horrible in the sense of, man, it's horrible because we needed to win that game because of how horrible we were against Arizona and Denver. That's really what it was. You're going to go back. You're going to look at Carolina, Arizona, and Denver, and you're going to go, ah, why don't we make the trade in week 4? Why isn't Demo healthy in week 4? And that's ifs. If they were, yeah, this is a better football team. Yeah, we're 2 wins better right now if Quinnen Williams and Demo are on this team all year. I do believe that. If Cooper Beebe doesn't go down, if Tyler Guyton doesn't go down, Nate Thomas not great yesterday. He played good against the Chiefs, not great yesterday. Had some bad plays. So obviously things to look forward to, things to build on, things to grow on, and ultimately, I guess, just on a big note, Here's what I would say. Here's the one thing that we do. Here's the one shot we do have. Philly really is capable of falling all the way apart. The Commanders can beat them twice, especially if Jaden Daniels is healthy. They play them good. They they've got I believe they've got Las Vegas, so that's not too tough. They have the Chargers coming up this Sunday. That's about what we can hope for. 10 wins won't do it. I don't see another team falling off. I see 3 11 win wild card teams, but all of a sudden 10 can win the division if Philly falls off. So that's what we can cross our fingers for. That's what we can hope for. Uh, if y'all are with that and you like that plan of attack, smash the like button. Jimmy's going to get out of here this morning. I appreciate you hanging with me. Um, Always good to come in and talk with you guys and have a little fun. Get it off the chest. It's not AM Mayhem. This is a Friday, and we do got the show tonight. Make sure you tune in to the Star We Are Live, where Landry, myself, and Sammy will be live. We will go over the Road 6. We will talk about the details and the stats of this game. Sammy will give us the news on CD and injuries and things like that. Landry will give us his knowledge. I will give you my input. We will try our best to fan responsibly. That is tonight at either 6 or 7 p.m. Just be on the lookout. We are working folks, and so working schedules can get in the way sometimes. But Jimmy is going to go shake off the rest of this failure Friday. This is what we're gonna finally call it, is a failure Friday for our Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna go shake it off. Again, I appreciate you guys being with me, and no matter what you do, just remember to always